Pokemon 12.2 lateral area and surface area. Let's see what that's all about. All right, so let's look at some definitions. A prism. A prism is a polyhedron with two congruent bases. So basically, it's a three-dimensional shape. And that's what we're going to start focusing on in this chapter, are three-dimensional shapes. Here we have what's called a right prism, which means it stands upright. It doesn't lean. When a prism does lean, it is called an oblique prism, but we are not going to be studying oblique prisms. We're just going to do right prisms in this chapter. That up there is called a base. There's actually always going to be two bases in prisms. Usually there's one on top and one on bottom, but then sometimes the figure gets knocked over and then you have them on the sides. So as long as you know that the two bases are identical, and they're always parallel to each other, is called the face. And then of course we have the edge. All right, those are the parts of a prism. Let's learn some names of prisms. This is called a rectangular prism because the shape of the base is a rectangle. I know this one looks like a square, but it is a rectangular prism. This is a pentagonal prism because the base is a pentagon. And then we have a triangular prism because, again, the bases are triangles. Our last one is a cylinder. All right, so here we have some formulas for prisms, right prisms. We have LA and SA. Let's see what they stand for. LA stands for lateral area. The lateral area is just the area around the shape. The P stands for the perimeter of the base, and the H stands for the height. All right, the SA stands for surface area. All right, the B stands for the area of the base, and then the PH is exactly from the lateral area. All right, so again, the lateral area is just the area around, and then the surface area is the area around and the two bases, the one on top and the one on bottom, added together. Okay, so let's do some examples. Let's look at this rectangular prism. Let's find the lateral area and the surface area. Lateral area, perimeter of the base times the height. Well, let's treat this as the base right here. The perimeter of the base is when you add all the way around the bases, which is 12 plus 7 plus 12 plus 7, 38. And then the height, how tall it is, the distance from one base to the other base, 15 feet. And there it is. That is the lateral area, the area around it. To find the surface area, we have to go around it, and we have to do the top and the bottom. That's what the 2B is for. All right, we already did the pH part from lateral area. Now let's go ahead and find the area of the base. The base is a rectangle. The area of the base is length times width, so 7 times 12. There's two of them, one on top and one on bottom. Add them together. There it is, 738 feet squared. Let's do another one. This one is a triangular prism. Let's go ahead and find the surface area. There's the formula, 2B plus pH. All right, so the perimeter is actually pretty easy to find. The perimeter is just the distance around the bottom. And because it is a regular triangular prism, all the sides are the same. So it is 6, 6, and 6. All right, that's how you get the perimeter. And then the height is the distance from one base to the other, 15. That gives us 270. All right, now we have to find the big B, the area of the base. The area of the base is a triangle, and to find the area, it's 1/2 base times height. There's the base, and then there's the height. But we have to find it first. Because we're using the altitude, it does cut this triangle in half, so we have a 3. Using a little bit of Pythagorean theorem, you should get the height, the A in this case, the height right here, to be 5.1961. That goes in here. The base is the 6, this part right here, 6. It goes in here. Oh, there it is. There it is. And so we have the area of the base, which is that, and which all goes into here. Multiply it times 2, add it to the 270, and there's our final answer. Let me erase this for you guys. 301.1769 centimeters squared. All right, so that's pretty complicated. In order to find the surface area, we had to use the surface area formula. We had to use the area of a triangle formula. We had to use that Pythagorean theorem formula. So this is a very involved problem. So it's kind of cool because everything you've learned from all these chapters have come together into this one problem. And that was just a regular example. Now we have a tricky one. Yeah, so it's going to require a little bit more work. Finding the surface area, 2b plus ph. All right, so the only thing we really know is the h, the height. We don't know the perimeter of the base. We don't know the area of the base. It's a lot of work. We do get this piece. Remember what that was called from a couple of chapters ago? The apothem. So to find the area of the base, we have to use 1/2 apothem times perimeter. All right, drawing a little triangle, find that piece, which is going to help us find the perimeter. Figure out that that's 36 degrees. Remember, first you have to find the central angle, which is 360 degrees divided by the number of sides, which in this case is 5, and that gave me 72. And then we split that triangle in half, and that's how I got the 36. From there, you're going to go ahead and set up a trig ratio problem. SOHCAHTOA. How does our 36 relate to our x, and how does it relate to the 6 that's over here? And we know it's tangent. It's opposite over adjacent. X over 6. Do a little bit of calculator work. Our x gets you 4. So that's 4. We kind of have to double it to get one of the sides, and then to find the perimeter, we actually have to multiply it by 5. Okay, and that gives us 43.5926. So that's enough information to find the area of the base, 130.7777. Okay, so the area of the base goes here. We actually know the perimeter. The perimeter is the 43, that was this part. That goes here. And then the height was the original 17. So plug everything in, do a little bit of calculator work. Let me erase some of that. You should get about 1,002 meters squared. All right, again, a very involved problem. It requires you to know a whole bunch of formulas, trigonometry, all of that good stuff. So hopefully you like gathering a whole bunch of information to find the answer, because that's kind of what math is. It's just getting a whole bunch of information from old information that you already know. All right, our next shape is a cylinder. It actually has the same exact formula as prisms. The lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height. The surface area is 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of the base times the height. So it's the same formula. The only difference is that we do know a different formula for P, the perimeter of the base. If you notice, the base's shape is a circle. When we're looking for the perimeter of the base, it actually has a different name. Do you guys know what a perimeter of a circle is called? It is called the circumference. All right, so circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle, and it has a formula. 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle. So this formula now has evolved into 2 pi r h. To find the lateral area, just plug in the r and plug in the h. The r in this case is 3 for radius. The height of the whole thing is 10. And so we should get approximately 188.4954 feet squared. All right, that part of the answer is this part for surface area. And then to find the big B, which is the area of the base, we know the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay, so let's plug in all that we know and use a little calculator to punch everything in, and we should get about 245 feet squared. All right, so that's how you find the lateral area and surface area of a cylinder. Let's go backwards. Let's test it out. What if they tell you the lateral area of a cylinder is 790 feet squared? You have to go backwards to find the radius. It's not bad. They give you the height, 15. Here's the formula again. Here's the slightly more advanced formula because we replace the P with the circumference of a circle, 2 pi r. Plug everything in that we know. We know the LA is 790. The H is 15. All we have to do is solve for R. To solve for R, you can go ahead and divide the 2 to the other side, divide the 15 to the other side, and also divide the pi to the other side. So basically, divide everything to the other side. And that would actually give us R, about 8.3822 feet. All right, last thing that we have to learn, nets. These are just 3-dimensional shapes that have been cut open and then laid flat. You have to figure out if you were to fold this shape like an origami into a shape, what would this fold look like? It would actually fold into a triangular prism. What about this? What happens if you folded the flaps up and put it back into a 3-dimensional shape? What shape do you think that would turn into? Yeah, a little box. We call that a rectangular prism. In this case, if all the sides are the same, we can call it a cube, but to be more general, a rectangular prism. All right, so that's all we have for today. Go ahead and try the homework.